think what I've heard today, at least, is clearly very moving. There's a couple of messages that I think are very clear. First of all, what we've seen today is simply called the human condition. Any of us can get sick. Any of us can suffer from mental illness. Any of us could be disabled. Any of us can have life-changing events which suddenly transform everything. And the role of a civilized community, and one which respects human rights, is to make sure that all of its members, no matter how many of those mishaps, misfortunes, whatever else, stumbles, are able to be compensated for, and that they're able to help themselves to be picked up and get on with life. I think we've seen today the faces of poverty, and they don't look like what the politicians describe. You've seen how hopelessly down and out and inarticulate and useless these people are. I think it really is important to just focus on the dignity and the strength and so on that's come through from all of the speakers today. Rob, who was almost talking about as though he was Daniel Blake in the movie, his experiences. Jody talking about the horrors of youth unemployment. Rebecca about 0 hours jobs and the impossibility of surviving if wages are not livable. Erin, all of the things that go with suffering from a disability and being completely marginalised within most societies. Steve talking about suicide, a theme that I've heard in a great many places, that people just get to the point of desperation, that it doesn't seem worth it anymore. Raven talking about the classic issue of gender discrimination, basically. When I was in Scotland, the Scottish government's very proud of the fact that they are providing female sanitary materials free of charge to as many people as they possibly can, realizing it's a health imperative, that it doesn't just go to the moments, it goes to the whole existence of the women concerned. Nolly, young disabled adult, all of the traumas that causes, the family relationships and so on. Tricia talking about debt and the joys of getting into the universal credit system. But also the issue of loneliness, which again we saw illustrated at the end, which is another phenomenon that goes with the elimination of community facilities and the emphasis on the individual getting out and doing it on themselves, which is great to the extent that the individual can do that. But there needs to be a sense of community. Diane talking to us about shelters and the sort of services that are available there, and then of course the absence of the sort of early intervention mental health services that should exist in most societies. And then finally, Mike made one big mistake, which was to say that he hoped that I can change this. And I can't. You can change it. It's a question of the community sending a message to the government that human rights do still matter, that human rights include social justice, and they particularly include the necessity of focusing on what I started with, the human condition. In other words, the fact that no matter how great and mighty and rich we are, one day there's that little thing that happens, might be divorce, might be a slip in the street, might be a mental problem that comes upon us, we're suddenly out of it. And we shouldn't then just slip through the net and be forced to live without dignity. So I hope that in the next few days that I'm here, I'll be able to discover more. I'm looking forward to talking with the government to get a sense of what their response is to the range of issues that you've presented. And then on Friday of this week, I'll be presenting my final report. But many, many thanks to all of you for coming, and especially to the great speakers today.
Well, believe it or not, we've done that within the hour, which is extraordinary. Right, the second hour is about taking questions from the floor. Now, we're restricting it to 3 minutes. There's only one person speaks, and we'll play it by ear. If it goes like the first half, we won't have any problems. So, the man's here. Any questions from the floor?